Hi, I'm John. This is my show, A Sports Reckoning. So I'm going to respond to a little something here that Raul said, Mr. AIH Sports and shit, right? But I'm going to make clear, 100% crystal fucking clear, why I personally do not like AIH Sports, why I don't trust him, and why I believe he is a total fucking fraud. Just like every other fucking loser out there and shit, right? This is exactly what it's about. Now, AIH will talk about fucking every fucking subject that comes into the sports card community. Every fucking single topic that every other single fucking loser talks about. He's the contrarian, but he talks about every one of those issues that all the people that he yells at, but he talks about them over and over and over again. And every single issue they got, he talks about every single fucking thing. You know? There's no difference. It's like, dude, you got these jerk. It's like CNN. It's like, okay, here's CNN's point of view and here's Fox News's point of view. Okay? That's it. They're all together. They're all doing the fucking same thing. There's really no difference between them. And that's what I'm saying with Raul. There's no difference between you and the other people. You're the same. As far as when my point of view and my perspective, when I look at it, I'm like, you're the same as them. You're just because you call yourself a contrarian, that doesn't mean shit. It's like there's Fox News and there's CNN, but you're all the fucking cable news fucking channels talking the same shit. In reality, Fox News was the way CNN is looked upon now. That's how Fox News was when they came about and they were created, and the way they talked bad about everybody, and they were horrible. They were fucking so evil and disgusting, all straight fucking propaganda. It was horrible. Like, I never, ever, ever would have watched Fox News. It was horrible, right? But then it changed. It flip-flopped and shit, right? And that's what happens in this world and stuff. But they're all the same. They're all this. It's because really in the inside, what the structure is, what they're doing, they're all the same. So that's what I'm trying to say is, I don't see the difference between like an AIH Sports and a Sports Card Dad. To me, they're both the same fucking total losers in here with no fucking real talent, no real ability, just in here wasting time trying to get away from their fucking wives and shit, right? Trying to act like they're fucking celebrities and shit, right? I'm a star, look at me, I'm on TV. Hey, Willy Wonka, look at me, I'm on TV, everybody. Right, so okay, so this is the thing though. I'm gonna get back to this part with AIH though, right? But so this is the thing. Now, this little video right here, 1 minute and 23 seconds. Okay? The whole video, and I do believe that you could probably play this video, but it's like if you wanted to make sure, you could ask me and I'll go back and look at my videos and I would check and see if any copyright claims, like, because I've used this video 100 times in so many of my different videos. I don't think this piece gets a copyright claim on it, right? Which means that you can monetize your video, right? So that's all you'd have to ask me, just double check. Be like, John, can you double check for me to see if that fucking video gets copyright claim on your shit? You know, I'd be like, yeah, sure, no problem. I'll do that for you, no problem. I'll back and check and make sure that this, like I said, I don't think it does though. Not when you're talking about just 1 minute 23 seconds, and this is from like 1970, so a lot of that older stuff, they don't fucking copyright it. And if you wanted to punch this up, you just punch in Diana Ross, Merv Griffin, and you'll see on the cover, it'll be like either Michael's on there, but there's the one that's got this picture where she's on the Merv Griffin, and it's only the 1 minute 23 one. So if you put up Diana Ross, Merv Griffin, there's the one that'll come up right there that's 1 minute 23 seconds. You just use that one, use that video. Now this is the thing of my problem I have with AIH. He'll talk about everything with everybody, all the stuff, right? How come he can't just say, okay, now look at, A Sports Reckoning is saying that Diana Ross and Smokey Robinson are Michael Jackson's real parents, and he says that he actually has evidence that can actually prove that. And this is one of the pieces of evidence of what he puts forth to say he does have evidence and stuff, right? And then just play this piece for him. Say, so if I'm speaking like if I'm AIH, right? And I'm speaking like if he's speaking to his people, right? So he would be saying, Okay, this is what John Reckoning's talking about, right? This is what he's saying, that he has evidence and stuff. And so all he would have to say is like, okay, let me show you one of his videos, just in case you people have never seen any of his stuff. Let me actually show you one of his videos and just kind of look at this from the lens. It's like, because usually you wouldn't look at it from the lens that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's mom. But if you look at this from the lens that Diana Ross is Michael Jackson's mother and listen to what she's saying, this is where John Reckoning, Sports Reckoning, is saying this is actual evidence. The words of what she's saying here could never exist, because this is the way I say it, is that what she's saying here and the situation of what's occurring here could never, ever exist unless my story's true. My story's the only thing that actually explains what's taking place here, right? So that's it. You would just give them a quick little 1-minute description about what the setup, you know, and then you would play the video for them. And then you'd be like, okay, see, and you would say, like, did you hear what she was saying? And say, did you see how it was odd how Michael's in the audience by himself? And how Diana keeps referring to Michael like it's her son and her child, and how she's saying that she's they make her work hard because she's basically doing it for him, and then you just point out a couple little points and say, do you see what she's saying? Do you see why he's saying these kind of things, right? So, and then that's it. Then he could just move on and say, so if you can see that if this has any interest to you, go ahead and go over and talk to John Reckoning and ask him questions, and he'll be glad to fucking guide you into other videos and give you more evidence. Just stuff like that, right? So here, let me play this video for you.
You certainly have added a fantastic group to the musical scene as a talent scout.
Well, if you're speaking about the Jackson 5,
and I am.
I don't feel that I've, added them. I think I just opened the door for them. And instead of them walking in, they ran in and trampled me as they were coming through the door.
Oh, they're awfully big
Hi,
right
they
now,
were.
aren't
I love them. We have one of them in the audience here with us.
Where?
We have Michael Jackson somewhere out there. Is he out there? Where is he? There he is. That's my child.
Hey.
That's Michael.
Don't you know anybody who'd get a better seat?
He's getting incognito.
Oh.
They've made me work hard because I want to be something. I mean, I am. Michael has always been like a son or a brother or something to me, and they admire me sort of like. So I try very hard to keep up such an image for them. And when I do a show like this, they usually sneak Michael in. I really didn't know he was going to be here. I heard about it, and I was hoping that he was here because it makes me a little bit stronger because I'm doing it basically for him.
Right? So it's just like, goddamn. So here, I'll go over to the other part now. And AH is just over here. This is his video, but he's just up here in the corner. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit there. Okay, there he is. There's that pretty face. Okay, so see that video? It's like, dude, this is the kind of thing. It's like, dude, AIH, you fucking talk about everybody out there, every fucking thing. You can't fucking take a couple minutes out of your fucking time and play that video for the people and just tell them that, hey, just so you know that this is what's going on. This is who that fucking Sports Reckoning guy is. This is his. Now, I do collect cards and I'm in the sports and all the stuff. I gamble on sports. I have a lot of other things too. But my actual thing, the only reason I'm in YouTube is because of my Michael Jackson story. That's it. I wouldn't be in YouTube because it wasn't for that. I wouldn't be like you in here trying to be a fucking TV star and shit, right? It's the only thing that I really care about is my Michael Jackson. You can't talk about that? Then fuck you, dude. Then you're a fucking loser. You're a total fucking fraud. You can't expose that fucking information to the community. You're a fraud. You're a piece of shit. Total fucking loser. I could just keep fucking insulting you over and over and over and over. I will never fucking like you. I will never fucking respect you. You're nothing. You can't fucking do that for me, then fuck you, dude. Straight fuck you, dude. Now, let's talk a little bit about the hobby. Now, this is my other issue with AIH Sports and shit, right? So here, let me play this part here.
Saying, hey, look, this Marvel PMG thing's coming down. F1 is going to be coming down. All these markets coming down. A lot of people made all these crazy comments on my YouTube channel. And guess what? Everything came down, and a lot of those hobby positivity folks are quiet.
Okay, so now I'm not into Marvel. I'm not into Marvel and shit, right? Not really at all. The only, like, when all those movies are going on and stuff, like, I've never seen, like, I haven't been to a movie theater. The last actual movie I can remember seeing in a movie theater was The Matrix, the original one, the first Matrix movie. That's the last movie I actually remember seeing in a theater. Like, that's how locked down I've been for so long, where I don't exist in the world and shit, right? I can't do anything. You're right, it's been a long, long time. It's more than the situation I'm in now. I was doing shit before that too. It's been a long time and shit, right? It's like my whole life I just spent helping other people and stuff. That's the weird thing about in life is, like, my whole life, all I've done is help people constantly. I try to help people, and I did help them, but then it doesn't always turn out the greatest too. That's that kind of weird shit, you know? There's kind of weird things, how things happen that way, where, you know, it's just life works out in really weird ways and shit, right? And, but, like, I just help people all my life and stuff, right? And then when it comes to, for me, where I actually ask people for help and shit, and they won't help. They won't do anything. That's this weird thing in this life I don't understand. I mean, I have an idea and the concept of what's going on and stuff, but it's like, it's so sad that I can't understand it, because the understanding of it is so sad, right? And it's so depressing that it's like, so instead of me saying, yeah, I totally understand it, I think that's kind of like an escape for me to say, like, I don't know, I can't understand. I think that's the way for me not to, like, get so depressed and stuff, because I actually do understand what's going on, right? And so instead of dwelling on the negativity of how bad things actually are, I just kind of be like, well, I don't know. And that's kind of like the little escape of shit, right? But so, but talking about the cards now, so like I said, I don't care about Marvel at all, right? Except Thanos, right? And so like the Avengers, right? When they're finding the Age of Ultron stuff, because I've watched those now, because I started watching the Thanos ones, because those are really good, right? But then I watched the Age of Ultron stuff. Now I don't care about that stuff. Now, and I don't care about any of the individual Thor movies or the Iron Man movies. Those all suck to me too, because I have tried to watch them now. Because, like I said, I have watched the Thanos Avenger movies, and I really like those. So I did try and give, like, the Iron Man movie a chance, or a Thor movie a chance, and nah, I don't care about that shit. That shit sucks. So I don't care about any of those stuff. I only care about the actual character and the storyline that revolves around Thanos. That's it. That was all I cared about, right? But I can see how big the Marvel universe is, right? And the PMGs are a premier card. It's a premier style of card, which when you're talking about how big the Marvel universe is, and in a premier card, a quality card like the PMGs, I can respect that card, right? So when you're knocking down the Marvel PMGs, the problem I have with you doing that is you're not acknowledging what quality is there. And that's the thing, is like, see, like me personally too, is like, I don't know exactly like the first year of the Marvel PMGs that were printed. Like, that's the thing, is being a collector, I would need to know, okay, what was the actual first year? What do those cards look like? Was there any transformation from when they first did it to when because I did see some early PMGs. There is some PMGs that I have seen that I don't like, and I've seen other PMGs, like with the sports players, and they're in their college uniforms. I don't really like those and stuff as much and stuff, right? But the Marvel ones, that the characters, those were fucking cool. The ones that I saw that the people were selling and shit, I liked those cards. I thought the cards were really fucking cool. And I understood that those cards could have value because of the Marvel characters, because how famous they are, plus of how cool the fucking PMG cards are. I saw, yeah. And see, like a person like Flippin' Steve was in on those early. He was buying those, because that's one of those things that Flippin' Steve does. He looks through, and he'll find stuff that's not a hard market, and he'll find stuff that he knows that is really fucking cool, and it's quality, right? And so that's the kind of stuff that Flippin' Steve, he was buying stuff like those Marvel PMGs early, so that when the prices started going up, he had a lot of them and stuff, right? And he started making good money off of it and shit, right? I'm not going to get mad at him for that at all. But so, when you're talking about the cards, the thing is you need to know which are the actual right ones, which I'm sure Flip and Steve would probably know that. I don't, and shit, because I don't follow it that close. But there would be certain ones that are the right year, they look right, everything about them is right? And then that's the thing where the hobby would be saying, now this is the valuable set. This is the one that's going to be the chase one and stuff, right? Or however it works and shit, right? But the other thing is that, like in the PMG, I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's like the greens are to 10, and then I don't know if it's like the reds go to 100. See, and I've heard the thing is that there's 100 of them, but 10 of them are green and like 90 of them are red. So like when you say the reds are to 100, but the first 10 are like green. So there is like some like tricky little shit like that you got to know. And then I don't know, it's like, is there blues? Because I've seen other blues and other stuff, but I don't know exactly. So it's like, I say, I don't know. I'm not sure exactly how that works. I know some of the things. But from my understanding, the green PMGs, the ones that are numbered to 10, those are premier fucking cards. Okay, so this is where I would say to you, Raul, is when you're talking about the market, you need to advise the people properly. And you need to advise people, and the way it would be is what I would say is like when you're telling people it's going to crash, but no, what you got to tell people is there's two ways to look at this. If you're an investor, the only way to invest is you've got to get a green. You've got to get a green at a right price, because that card is so premium that it can withstand the massive reduction in the prices. There's going to be a chance that the green is so premium that it will have a chance to withstand the reduction in price, the drop, right? But the reds, there's no chance that they're going to withstand that, because even when you're talking about a count of 100, which appears to be a low population count, it's not. That's the problem that people really don't understand, that even something that is only 100, that seems like it's very scarce and rare, it's not rare. 100 is a fucking shitload. When you're talking about when a market starts going down, and then what you see is that all these people, then they flood. And so like, let's say there's 90 of them, I guess, if there's 90 of them actually, right? But if you have 20 people put them on the market to try and, then that just floods the market and the prices will crash. But that's what you can have happen with a red. You can have 20 people now want to sell them, but you can't have that with the green. You can't, it's not possible to happen and stuff, right? It's not going to happen the same way with the green. So that's the thing that I don't like what you're talking about, Raul, is you're not advising the people properly. You want to tell the people, if you want to get into the PMG market, you have to get a green at a fair price, because it can withstand some of the downside turmoil and stuff. And I'm not saying it did, but I'm saying it can. And if it bounces back in the future, the greens are going to be the one that bounce back a lot quicker than the reds and shit, right? So when you're saying that this PMG market is being inflated, so you have to tell the people right at that time, what that means is don't ever buy a red. Don't buy a red. If you're trying to collect it and shit, or if you're an investor and you think you're going to buy it and flip it for a higher price, you're already too late. The market's already out of your reach and shit. You had to have gotten it before this fucking influx of all the cash and the prices being high. You can't come at that time and try and buy it and think that you're going to be able to flip it easily. You might get caught, and you might be able to flip it, but it might be the time where the bubble burst, and then boom, that's it. And if you get caught when the bubble burst, you're going to be caught with your hand in the cookie jar, and you're going to lose a lot of fucking money. So you have to tell them that is very risky. What you're doing, you have there's a short-term time frame here that is going to be able to exist to make a profit with the reds. But the greens are the ones that are like, okay, what you have to be able to recognize, Raul, is that those are good fucking cards. That's what you're not recognizing, and that's where the community, the sports card hobby and the community doesn't like you, because you're not acknowledging the quality of the card that is there and does exist with those characters and those cards. You're not acknowledging that there is some very fucking serious quality, like in the greens. You're not acknowledging that and shit, right? That's why people don't like you. Me too. I'd say you being a financial advisor, I wouldn't trust your fucking opinion and your advice, because you're just too negative. If I'm calling you negative, you must be negative and shit, right? So, okay, so then the other thing is that, okay, so the F1, The F1, that was really easy to advise people, don't touch that fucking card. Okay, that's the other part, is that what you want to advise the people is say, look at, this is a bubble on the rise. And it's going to crash down, it's going to crash heavy. So just wait a year or two. Trust me, those cards are going to come down 90% and then go ahead and pick them up. You're going to be able, because they say that it's in a bubble now. It's way too inflated. You got to stay away from it right now with like the reds, right? So just give it a little bit of time, give it a year or two. The price is going to crash and you'll be able to go pick up everything you want in the reds at a very affordable price. That's how you would advise people and stuff, right? But the greens can be a different thing. Those can be kind of cards that they might not be affected by the market because the desirability of them and how much people actually like them, that can withstand that kind of a downflux, influx, I don't know if that's the right way how you say that shit, right? A downturn. The downturn, the green might be able to withstand that to a point, right? But the reds, there was no way that they were going to do it. So that's how you have to advise it. But the other problem is what you're not acknowledging, Raul, is those are fucking killer fucking cards. That the Marvel characters do have fucking value and shit, right? And the PMGs do have a fucking value. That's what you did not acknowledge, and that's why people fucking came at you as you're so negative and you're just attacking everything because you're not showing any form of what is positive about the cards, right? So, okay, now when we talk about F1, there's no F1 fans out there. Nobody out there, there was not one motherfucker out there that started hyping F1 who was an actual F1 fan, right? Then they hyped it, and then the card people started saying, well, they're just looking at it making money, right? So then they started saying, well, if I can make money out of it, I'll give it a try and shit, right? But none of them were F1 fans. Nobody's F1 fans. Like, I hate F1 so much because they play it, like, they'll play it like on a Sunday morning or something. It's like one of these, I hate when I go to fucking turn on SportsCenter and F1's on, right? I hate when anything else is on SportsCenter. Like right now, I think they got like the Little League World Series going. I hate when anything else is on SportsCenter in the morning except SportsCenter. And then usually, sometimes you'll be able to go to another channel, but it's like, why do I got to go to ESPN too? It's like ESPN, you're the flagship channel. Every day you've got to play SportsCenter in the morning, right? And when they don't, it pisses me off. It's like, unless a nuclear bomb got dropped, I want to see SportsCenter. I don't want to see anything else on that fucking channel in the morning except SportsCenter and shit, right? So anytime so that makes me hate F1 because I'll turn it on and then I only got F1 on. So it makes me fucking hate it because it's taken away from my actual normal system, my cycle of being able to enjoy my SportsCenter. I can't do this now because there's an enemy. F1's an enemy to me. And that's how much I hate it. So most people, I would think, would feel similarly about F1. I don't want to watch that shit. I don't care about it. It's not a sport. We can't participate in it. It's fucking stupid. It's just like I've been to the Long Beach Grand Prix. The Long Beach Grand Prix, that's the way you say it, right? I've been down there. And just hearing the cars, that's cool. Seeing the race, it's like, dude, when you're in Grand Prix and the cars are turning corners, and it's like, dude, it's not like you're seeing them going, whoa, fucking 200 miles down a long straightway. That would be cool. But it's not really like that. It's like a Grand Prix race, and they're making all these curves, and then they accelerate really fast, and so you hear the motor rev, whoa, fucking okay, that's cool. But it's not really exciting. It's not like watching them down a long backstretch, just seeing some car hauling ass at fucking 200 plus mile an hour. Wow, fucking, I'd be like, yeah, fuck go. That would be different. It'd be different. It's not like that though. It's just a different thing. It's not like that. It's not entertaining. It's not something that, it's just to me, it's like a social gathering and shit, right? It's like an event that people just go and hang out at. Like, you know, it's just a social, it's not a sport. It's not real. So F1, anybody who knew anything knew that F1 was not collectible. It doesn't, and see, that's the thing. That doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how cool. Of course they're chrome cards. Of course there's going to be some fucking cool looking cards. But who cares? Who's buying those cool looking cards of fucking offensive linemen? Who's buying those? They got cool fucking cards too. Nobody's buying that shit. Nobody gives a fuck about, just because the card looks cool, that doesn't mean shit. There's a whole bunch of fucking awesome fucking cards that are fucking worth $1. So that was the whole F1 market. It's like, dude, it doesn't matter how cool you make the fucking cards look. Nobody cares about this fucking sport. So F1, the whole thing about it, that's how you should have advised F1, to explain to the people that there is no market for F1. This is all it's all fucking smoke and mirrors. There is no market because there is no fan base. So there can't ever be a collector's market if you don't have a fucking fan base. So whatever fan base there is out there and shit, it's bullshit. It's made up. It's fake. It was always gonna fucking never be anything and shit, right? There's total fucking loser shit, right? So, yeah, F1, it's crap. But that's the way you gotta explain it, that it's not, there is no fan base. There's no fan base. How many people out here grew up watching fucking F1 and shit, right? Nobody. Nobody watches F1. If you're in America, you watch NASCAR and shit, right? Which, who the fuck would watch NASCAR anymore with that stupid Bubba Wallace fucking all paranoid thinking that the pool rope on his fucking door is a fucking nuisance? The KKK's coming to get him and shit. So, like right there, it's like, if a driver is so fucking paranoid, that if he's so racist that he thinks a pool handle on a door is you know, they talk about the conspiracy. Oh, those are those conspiracy wackos. Well, then what the fuck is that Bubba Wallace moron he had to spend his whole life around garages, and how many times he must have seen a pool rope thing that looked similar to a noose, but it's not a noose, it's just a pool rope. He must have seen those a million fucking times. But for some reason at that event, he's like, oh, somebody put a noose in my garage. Oh my God. So if you're a NASCAR fan, once he came in and started doing that paranoid, crazy, fucking wacko woke bullshit, then, well, there goes NASCAR. Why I couldn't participate in that kind of shit no more. It's like, fuck that shit. It's like the Colin Kaepernick getting on his knee, that stupid shit, you know? It's like, dude, you guys are trying to ruin the sport because we can only tolerate this fucking bullshit for so long and shit, right? It's like simple, like when they painted Black Lives Matter on the basketball court. I haven't watched a basketball game since then. Literally. I haven't watched it. And it's hilarious because you've got all these people talking, and I was the guy that I would have been betting on basketball for the previous 20 years. I would have been betting on basketball, gambling. So I watched every night, every game. I would have watched every single playoff game that I could have watched, which was basically all of them and shit, right? But when I say what I could have watched is because once in a while in the very beginning, there might be four games on that day, but only 3 of them were televised. And so then the other one was the one I didn't watch. But that's the reason I didn't watch it. It's not because that's, you know. But other than that, I watched every single fucking playoff game for the past 20 fucking years. As soon as they painted that Black Lives Matter on the floor, I have not watched a game. And so now you got all these kids talking about all these NBA players, right, that they're talking about, and they're like, oh, this guy did. And it's like, I haven't even seen those people play. I haven't watched basketball in a few years, right? I haven't even seen these people play. I don't even know who the fuck they are. Shit, right? And at some point, I'll probably go back to basketball and stuff. Maybe, but maybe not. Maybe they fucked up so bad that maybe I go back to baseball and shit once I have the time. But baseball just requires such a fucking effort to bet on it. It is a real full-time job when you're betting on it. But I like baseball. And when I'm gambling, I like getting up and doing all day and have my focus on the games. And I love that shit, right? But now I can't do it. I don't have the time to do that stuff, right? So I stopped betting baseball 10 years ago because I haven't had the time. But basketball, I need something else to bet besides just football. I want one of the other sports to get me through the year and shit, right? So basketball was the one. I was doing basketball and football. I dropped off baseball. But in reality, I'd like to do all 3 of them. I'd like to do baseball, basketball, and football. I bet them all. So I'm betting every fucking day. I'm betting sports every day. I'm watching sports every night. I've got a game on and shit, right? That's the way my life was the 20 years previous and shit, right? Right, so... But that's the thing with F1. It's like, F1, it's like, and so that's the way it's like with Raul. You've got to just pump it into the people's head. Where's the fan base? Where's the fan base? Go ask, you tell the people, okay, if you think that F1 has a market, then you should be able to go down and start talking to people and ask them about F1 and who's your favorite driver. Then they should be able to rattle off, like, right? Like when you go to football, if you talk to any, you should be able to go up to any man, basically. Like I could walk down my street, talk to every single man. There's got to be some sport that they're interested in and shit, right? And like even my neighbor, the neighbor I have right now, I know he likes some sports, but then it came out because we were talking about sports and cards. I was telling him about cards and stuff, and it turned out that he was all into soccer and shit, right? And because I would tell him about sports cards, and he was telling me about like he was into the jerseys. He was buying all the in soccer. Being a soccer fan, buying the players' jerseys was a really big thing, right? Because that's what he was doing and shit, right? He wasn't buying the sports cards. He was buying the jerseys and shit, right? And that's the thing with soccer. They're coming into the card market, but I think that those people were more like they would buy the jerseys. I think that's the more nature of the thing. But the thing is that they have a serious fan base. Soccer's got a serious worldwide fan base, and we know the cards are cool, so yeah, that's a viable market, even though I don't give a fuck about soccer whatsoever. But I can recognize that there's a viable market there, and of course that those cards, I know the cards are cool. Why wouldn't they like the cards once they get exposed to them more? So, like, I wouldn't call, like, soccer that kind of, like, it's not a pump like what F1 was. F1 doesn't have a fan base and shit. Soccer does have a fan base. So even if soccer right now is looking like, oh, they're piping it up and stuff, but it doesn't matter because there's a real fan base and there is a real market for the cards and that thing. So that's what I don't think you make clear enough, AIH. You don't make it clear enough and explain to the people why are those cards not worth money? And why are these other ones that they're potentially will be worth money, but you might have to wait on them. So if you have to wait till the right time and tell them, you got to teach them how to wait for the market to fluctuate and make sure you buy it at low. Make sure you buy low and shit, right? But I don't think you're clear enough about that stuff, right? Because you're too worried about sitting up there being a pretty little TV star and shit, right? Okay, that's enough for now. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.